Good morning, this is Penny Ferguson, a living leader. Wednesday's come round again, and my goodness, is it a hot Wednesday. And I'm sitting in my kitchen with a bit of wind blowing, but wow, is it warm. It's amazing. Let me show you how brown my garden is. Oh, look, very scary. Very, very scary. So I'm afraid we're all suffering a bit from wanting more rain, which is quite rare in this country, saying we're asking for rain. Normally we're asking for it to stop, but could do with some now. Right, what do I want to talk about today? What I want to talk about today is I want to share with you something that happened to me yesterday, and it really got me thinking. And it was quite scary, really. I woke up reasonable time, and I was in bed, lying in bed. It was about 7:15, and suddenly I started to smell something. I thought, golly, it smells like burning. Where the heck is burning, and who can be burning something now? So I got out of bed and went to my balcony, and I thought, is it coming from out here? And I thought, well, I can still smell it, but I don't think it's coming from here. And then I walked down into the house, and I walked down the kitchen. I thought, is there something in here? And then I almost went up in the loft and thought, is there something coming from there? And I thought, oh, maybe it's me imagining it. I'm sure there's something. Anyway, I got back into bed. And while I was lying there in bed, I could still smell it. And I looked around the room. And then I looked across at my dressing table, and I could see a tiny little spiral of what looked like something, smoke or something going up. Well, not as obvious as smoke, but something. I thought, what the heck is that? And I shot out of bed and went over, and it was a box of tissues, and they were smouldering. And even that early in the morning, there must have been the sun coming in, hitting where I had a mirrored little jewel case, and had landed on this box of tissues, and it was smouldering. And I've got to be honest, it scared the hell out of me when I realized, wasn't I lucky? I was in the house, I was in the room, I could see it. I could have been out. That could have stayed there for a long time and could have burst into flames. It had already started just to melt the edge of the lining on my mirror. And it gave me a real fright, because I thought this could have burst into flames and could have been really, really serious. So it was a big wake-up call about keeping curtains shut so things didn't reflect. But I thought about it quite a few times during the day, and I thought, isn't it interesting that such a tiny, tiny little spark can just burst into flames and create something huge? And then I thought, that's something really bad, but why can't we think of how can we create that huge fire of something positive? What about if one of us said something really, really kind and nice to somebody? Could that inspire them to say something nice to somebody else? And could that inspire them to say something nice, not just to one person, but two? Do we really create a flame and a fire of kindness, of nice things, of good things? Because look how easily that box of tissues could have burned into flames, and it could have ended up setting fire to my bedroom, setting fire to the whole house. It could have done amazing damage. But why can't we create a flame of kindness, a flame of something special? It's really interesting sometimes, and when I was out in Boston, I think I shared this with you, that when I went in and met a group, and okay, there was some senior people in there, some not quite so senior people in there. And you could see them thinking, when I asked them, they said, well, we're only a tiny group of 8 within a company that's got 16,000 people in it. How can we make a difference? And that's how we can make a difference, one step at a time, one thing at a time. We can create that flame, we can create that fire, but make it of something positive, not something negative. We have that opportunity to do that. So I'd really like to challenge you this week and say, how can we create a massive fire of kindness, of something positive? Because when you look anywhere, the news everywhere, it seems to be all bad news. And yeah, we're getting heat, there's going to be fires, there's going to be things that from a spark create something really horrific. But why can't we start a fire of positivity, a fire of kindness, a fire where people begin to say, let's be nice to each other. Let's focus on inclusion. Let's focus on really seeing how we can create that. And if you believe you can do it, you will. You know, it's a case of believing that just from a small spark, something amazing can happen. So through something that was nearly a bit of a disaster yesterday, I took some really powerful learning and reminded myself how actually one person can make a difference. They can. And if you believe you can, you will. So there's my thought for you this week. Have a great week wherever you are. If you're on holiday, if you're at work, have a wonderful week. Choose to enjoy it and choose to think, what kindness, what real positivity can I possibly spread today? Have a great week. This is Penny Ferguson, a living leader.